Hello people, today I have with us the Witch from Mercury prologue kit, Gundam Lfrith. Now, I did the Big Ear Boo before. I did this one because I didn't have this one before I got that other kit. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so we'll just leave it. But I wanted to make sure that I got you guys an Lfrith to review, at least from me. The funny thing is, I also have a clear color version of both of those, so maybe those will be very soon as well. But because this is a newer model kit from the high grade series, they do have a write-up for this one. Let's go ahead and read it. This is a prototype MS developed by Ox Earth Corporation, a company that was established in Earth. The most prominent feature of this unit was the implementation of the GUND format, where GUND, or Innovative Body Function Expansion Technology based on artificial limb welfare engineering, was refined for mobile suits. The mobile suits that incorporated the GUND format and gained cross-disciplinary fighting abilities and collectively called GUND arms, and people across the world soon came to call them Gundams. So apparently in this universe, Gundam means that it has to have that integration and interoperability between, I guess it would be the GUND format and people. But before we get into all of that, there are a few other write-ups, but we'll leave those be for now. Let's go ahead and get into the articulation on this guy. Or this girl, whatever you want to say. So I think it's very similar to the Ariel in that the mechanics of this one are very different than what you would normally see on a Gundam. It's funny, I hadn't thought about it before, but someone mentioned that these guys look a little squat, a little bit stubbier than what they do in the show. And like I said, I never thought of it, but now that I look at it, it does look pretty stubby. And I'm upset at whoever told me that, and it kind of ruined my perception on these guys. But starting at the head, we have the single ball joint up in the top that goes into the head, so you get all your ball joint related angles. You also have a ball attached on the inside in toward the front, so you can move it in quite a few varieties of ways there as well. Moving to the shoulders. Shoulders are on a small piece of articulation here, a hinge joint. And then you have the ball joint that attaches inside the body, which can be pulled out quite a bit, as well as that piece here, which also articulates in and out, and it can actually turn up and down too, but you're going to mostly rely on that ball joint, but you can get quite a bit out of that one. You can see here, that's a lot. Moving on to the lower arm. Actually, no, we have to do this one, which is the rest of the shoulder joint, which allows you to move that up separately from that shoulder pad, and then back down, of course. You can get quite far with that one as well. This one's not supposed to come out, by the way. Let's go ahead and put that back in. Hopefully didn't mess anything up. Nope, okay, we're good. All right, and we have a rotation point at this joint. So you can move that around. It feels looser on this one than it did on the Ariel, I will admit. You have the single joint at the elbow. It gets you a bit. Usually I take off the weapons, but this one, I don't know, just didn't do it. There we go. So that's your arm. Ball joint at the wrist, standard ball joint. Just plugs in, tilts around, simple. Onto the back of the unit. Lots of joints on this one allow you to move these things all over the place. These ones are part of the bit-on form. If you remember with the Ariel, the shield comes apart. You put all these things on and attach it to the Ariel. This one, it had a backpack docking form. So all these are for these parts here. This one also has a joint. And I believe it's a silly ball joint there. I'm not entirely sure why, but that's how it's mounted, so can go all kinds of different directions. These ones are also ball jointed here, so you can get a lot of fun angles there. And then these ones are just simple pegs. Well, simple peg here, and then a ball joint down here. The very large shield is on a simple peg, just one round 3mm peg that goes into the arm. Because of the straightness of it, it's designed to slide in between the gaps on the wrist here, and you can't rotate it if you have it nice and tight. But that said, you can move it a little bit further out and rotate it that way. It's not too big a deal to do that. Inside the chest, there is... Inside the chest, you have the crunch. There's not much to that one, but you can see right here that that is an attachment point inside there on a ball. And then you have a rotation here for your waist needs. Knock that one off. This one here, very large peg goes into the crotch there. You move that one up and down, rotate it at its axis. You can move it up and down as well here. Not as much as on the aerial with this one here, because that hits the armor, but if you go this way, you definitely can. This way as well, a lot more. A lot of fun angles you can get with that. Onto the knee, double jointed knee, as well as this cover flap here. Pretty high mobility, I think. Your ankle is on a C-clip up here at the top. And then at a ball joint at the front here. And a rocking mechanism like the Iron-Blooded Orphans kits at the bottom here. So if you wanted to pose them, you can. It is possible. I'll show you that. So you can stance them out. And I think that's it for the articulation. As far as extras, there's not too many. This one comes with 2 beam sabers in blue, like so. There's one, and we have the other right here. These ones pop right off, and then you just mount the beam sabers. If you've built a Gundam, you know what I'm talking about. There is this effect part. This one goes into the cannon at the front. Just like this. It looks pretty, intimidating. I guess you could use it as a blade too. I will read about that one in just a second, so hold on for that. You also get an alternate chest piece. That one is right here. This is that really cool one that they pre-printed on. So it's clear, but on the bottom of it, they printed this part on so that you could see that really cool effect. This one, though, is clear. And you can either put a silver sticker on it to make it look shiny underneath, or you can put the other one of these, which is printed like that one is. So you can do that. But it's interesting how they did that. So yeah, not much in the way of extras, but this is a first of its line, so they're not going to put too many things extra. Let me go ahead and read the other write-ups before I bring out the size comparison. So the Compo gun bit shield, that's that big board right there. It says it's a shield employing gun bit, a next generation remote controlled swarm weapons system. And then each part that separates off of it are called bit staves. It says these bits separated from the shield are called bit staves, which are weapons that adopt thrusting vector technology, thrusting vector nozzles, posture control thrusters, and built-in beam cannons. These functions can be used to perform various three-dimensional offensive and defensive maneuvers. Then we have this gun. It's called the Receiver Gun, Beam Blade, and Gun Bit Rifle. This is a portable firearm for the MS. Let me just throw it. It can rapid fire beams and also use a beam blade by generating a massive beam blade on. Bit staves can also be attached to the front and back of the weapon to upgrade it into the gun bit rifle, which unlocks higher output beam firing mechanisms. And then lastly, it mentions the bit on form. This is the form where bit staves are attached to the backpack to improve maneuverability. It not only enhances speed, but also grants acceleration and braking abilities unseen in mobile suits and when in any posture. So I will show you the bit on form, but let's go ahead and do the size comparison first. Here's our high-grade Gundam. This is the GBN Gundam, the GBN base Gundam from Bill Divers. It is also in 1/144 scale, just like the Lfrith. Here is a high-grade Gundam Aerial, and this one is from the same series. It is basically the evolution from this one to this one. This is a more modern form. Wouldn't say modern, but you know, a few years in advance. Without saying too many spoilers. But these are both high grades in 1/144 scale. Here it is standing beside the Alto from 30-Minute Missions. This one is also in 1/144 scale. Here we are beside the Jinrai from Frame Arms. This is a 1/100 scale kit. And here beside Architect in roughly 1/12 scale. This is a Frame Arms girl. And here beside her now is the Hexagear Governor Nero. This is in 1/24 scale. Standing beside the Master Grade Alex Gundam in 1/100 scale. There she is. So now we've seen all the size comparisons I usually do. I'm going to go ahead and put this in bit on form so you guys can see what that looks like. And then we will conclude the video. So as far as my opinion goes, I think this one is a very special build. Of course, it is from the prologue from the Witch from Mercury series. So it is something you only get to see in that prologue. You don't really get to see it any other time. But it is a really cool looking unit. I think the white and the pink is a very spectacular color combination. The gray, very lightish blue, I think sets it off very well. The build on this thing is fantastic, as all of the Witch for Mercury kits have been so far. I think the engineering on these things is top notch. It blows everything that I've seen, with the exception of some of the Kyokai Senki kits, out of the water. It's a fantastic model kit, and I really enjoyed building it. I think you will too if you pick one up. With that said, I'm not going to linger too long on my opinion. It is anywhere from $16 to $22 is where I've seen it. I purchased it for $20, I think, even. I was in the market for it for a long time, of course. I got a little bit impatient and I just bought it. But I have seen it for cheaper, and I don't really mind paying the extra for it because it is a kit that I needed to have in my collection. So having seen the prologue, I think it's definitely one. If you enjoy this show, it's one you have to have. This is a fantastic build for you Gunpla collectors, and for someone who just wants the Gundams in general, this is one of the top-notch kits that you've ever seen. So for collectors, for Gunpla owners, for people who love building, it's fantastic. This is one of the kits that you can't miss. Now, if you have arguments about the show, that's fine too. I get it. People don't like the show. But, I mean, it's really popular, so I guess not that many people don't like the show. In any case, give it a watch if you haven't. The prologue especially, it's different and refreshing. It's wild. It's out there. Very fun. I'll never sing Happy Birthday the same way ever again. But with all that said, I think I'm going to keep my mouth shut and not spoil anything else. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I will get out of your way now. So I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely you'll see my stuff. Bye-bye.